Hello again, good people! Lucky Man or Lucky Mies 205 over here, and this time, I think I'm gonna review Z31 from the very old ship line released in World of Warships while this video is made 4 years ago, and that is a German Elbing line. And we're gonna start with the Z31, which I personally found a very good way to actually learn about this infamous playstyle that I actually am not a big fan of. And that is, if you know World of Warships and German Tech 3 ships, most of them actually hold a hydrocaustic surge consumable. In which this case, unfortunately, Elbing line doesn't have anything hydrocaustic surge related, so you have to be extremely careful where you want to play with this disastrous ship. And Z31, in historically, it seems, in 1940s and 1941, several Type 1936B destroyers were laid down again. The new Type 1936A modified was equipped with 150mm guns. Z31, the lead ship, entered service in April 1942. The destroyer participated in the Battle of the Barents Sea against the GV-51B convoy. In 1943, she participated in the raid of Spitsbergen, and in 1944, she was involved in the transportation of German troops from Finland to Norway. In January 1945, the ship was heavily damaged in battle with British cruisers. After the war, she was transferred to France and renamed Marceau. So this is an interesting ship, and I have to say I had some quite of interesting games with her. And I am not destroyer player, I will admit that part. But because I had to learn, just to try to understand the playstyle, and I had to watch again the World of Warships new German Tech 3 line, and that was the World of Warships own video talking about the new German destroyers review. And of course, this was 4 years ago. I will have to keep reminding, because this is still somewhat perhaps new ship line, destroyer line perhaps, although it is 4 years old. But I haven't seen much about this line at all. Why? Well, if you know about the term gunboat, this new Elbing line is supposed to represent this type of main gun destroyer playstyle. Like your main focus is focused on the main guns itself. And because of that, originally she got damage control party and smoke generator, but later, after some years, this Elbing line finally got engine boost. It helped some degree this ship line, but that didn't help the ship line that much that you can actually see them all the time. No. They are still very rarely to see in every battle. What I have personally seen. and I'm basing that based upon what I have experienced in every battle. But if you have seen more Elbing Line destroyers, please let me know. But they are very exceedingly rare to see nowadays. First off is the armor plate, starting with the 16mm. In the middle there's a 25mm protecting ship citadels. Well, there's no citadel at all in destroyers. Mid-section, and same goes with the guns. There's 20mm, there's a 30mm, and way back is a single mounts with the 6 and 10 and 6 and 10mm. Nothing impressive, but still some degree of protection. As for the artillery, excuse me, we have good amount of, if we count all barrels, 4 150mm as what? Not the SKC. 55 TPTS K. See. No, what's the caliber? Oh, excuse me. I'm just tripping over myself over here. Well, 150mm guns, that's a more simple way to pronounce it. 4 150mm guns, twin in the bow, and 2 single mounts on the back. They do pack a punch because they are focused on using AP. With the commander build I have, with the extra main battery AP shell damage, 7.5% more, giving it, with the AP damage, 3,978. And if you manage to do some citadel damage, it can be very impressive damage, yes, but it is very situation dependable. As for the torpedoes, well, Z31 has twin 4-tube designs. Was it quintuple? Now, they have some 10-kilometer range. They might be slow, 50 knots. But they have some really impressive damage, 13,700. And with the experience I have with these torpedoes, they can be very devastating once they actually hit something. These can be devastating, although they are slow but well placed and right moment to be launched. They can do some very, very good work. If there's one personal opinion about the Elbing line, is that, of course I have mentioned this, they lack hydro, a German hydro. That is true. But because they are lacking hydro, and the German line is known to have hydro, the World of Warships literally killed this line at the start. Because let's start with the concealment. Detectability range by sea is 7 kilometers. And that is not a good thing with any destroyer. Because if you know destroyer playstyle, they are supposed to be scouts and eyes to your team If you can spot a destroyer from the moon, and destroyers are supposed to be very small and hard to find. Let's just take with the comparison with the Japanese destroyers. Is there... I think I had one over here. Da 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 da. I hope I... Oh, wait. Let's go with the Shimakaze. Well, in this case I have 5.6 kilometers detectability range by sea in Shimakaze. Of course, sea is a small destroyer, I have to give that. But this is a proper, shall we say, a proper detectability range by sea, 7.6 kilometers. Because you are staying better hidden. If you are not hidden, then what are you? Easy target to be easily destroyed. And if there's one particular thing that every ship should really take into account, the enemy is not the enemy ship, but the commander who commands the ship. That's why I have to practice a lot about with the Z31 and entire Elbing line, how they behave and work. And to me, I have to disappoint you all, but this line is terrible in wrong hands. No wonder this line is very rare to see in every battle you take. Of course, Elbing itself can work. But let's go with the Elbing for a moment. I know we are focusing on Z31. But I want to point out this interesting fact is that automated gun and fuel systems. This is a unique upgrade you can actually have with the tier 10 ships. Main battery traverse speed 100%, yes, it improves. Main battery reload time -6%, that's really good. Maximum ship speed while an engine boost consumable is active, +12%, that is really good. And let me point out, this right here got some upgrade, or it was updated or upgraded something what is currently today. But the worst thing is, main battery firing range -8%. So she is more focused on a close range combat. But how can you bring something that is maneuverability or a shift time 6.3 seconds, which is terrible on a destroyer, turning circle radius 890 meters turning radius, it is extremely terrible on the destroyer, although maximum speed is 38 knots on Elbing. It's yes, main battery traverse speed is improved, but if you can be detected by 7.2 kilometers away, and what type of build I have with the commander? Okay, this is a fearless brawler. Yes, it can help slightly, but this design is still so inferior compared to any destroyer. In fact, if you take Hoffman, yes, I have concealment expert, because Hoffman is way different compared to the Elbing. She is something like a torpedo focused destroyer, and Hoffman is a copy of Felix Schultz. And this thing actually has a hydro, which, by the way, I confess, is way more usable. Because you can be in a smoke, and if enemy approaches you, you can actually see them before they reach you. And Elbing line does not have that access. So you have to constantly, what I have learned, always keep moving. If you are not, you will become fish fry. And I will admit, it's not fun at all. This line is a very big struggle to play even current World Warships, and because they lack hydro, and let's not forget submarines, these destroyers has no access to actually detect enemy submarine as well. In fact, this class is so badly designed, it's no wonder nobody wants to play this line. They are lacking the best aspects the destroyer is supposed to do, but not the Elbing line. Oh no, they're supposed to be scout cruisers, especially Felix, Schultz and Elbing, if you know their historical references. But yeah, although they boast very accurate main guns, very sluggish, but here are hard-hitting torpedoes. They have smoke screen to get away, an engine boost to run even faster from the enemy ship. The problem is, you have to pick your fights very carefully, and you have to always keep an eye on the minimap where your teammates are sailing and drunken about, so you don't end up in a let's just say friendly waters again, very fairly quickly at the start of the game. So no wonder this Elbing line is terrible at the get-go. Even with the Z31, and the higher you go, the more suffering it gets. And I mean literally. And I'm talking about personal experience. Now, we are gonna focus on random battle and operations. Of course, we're gonna play with Z31 because she is representing the class or the destroyer line at first. So we must go with this. So enough rambling, let's go with the games. Now this is starting very interesting. We're gonna have fault line. And we have tier 6 carrier detected. West Virginia Agent George Omono Crash Bear. That's a very classic ship. We have Kiro, we have Hydro, Mahan, Baugulin, Kamikaze, and 2 submarines. Because we are completely lacking any Hydro related, we cannot fight submarines. Although the depth charge is 2,500. Because we are in 8, 9 and 10 line, we could focus here. The problem is what type of player aging card is.
Gegnerische Streitkräfte entdeckt. Gegnerische Flugzeugträger gesichtet.
Okay, West Virginia is over here. We have Vaugulin. Wait, is Vaugulin French destroyer? Oh, okay. Because we have no hydro, we cannot make any big pushes here.
Gegnerische Schlachtschiff gesichtet. Torpedos auf Backbord. Torpedos Achterhaus. Gesichtet. Gegnerische Schlachtschiff entdeckt.
Okay, that didn't go as planned.
Höhenbruch. Wasser dringt schnell ein. Maschinenboost aktiviert. Nebelwerfer gestartet. Problem gelöst. Nebelwand gelegt.
So in that case, I think I was blinded by tunnel vision. So it was all my fault. If you actually go to the minimap, they have Virginia, Vaugulin, Crash B, and Februcio, is it? So yeah, we are in a very, very difficult spot. There's no way this ship is helpful at all. Even the playstyle is way off the place.
Call for support, fire. Gegnerischen Kreuzer gesichtet.
And there's a Mahan?
Maschinenboost deaktiviert. Gegnerischen Zerstörer gesichtet.
So that, I have to admit, they actually had a really good push here.
Nebelwerfer gestartet. Nebelwand gelegt.
Attention, all forces defend the base.
Oh, curse you, Rujo.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Oh, that's the wrong time.
Problem gelöst. Torpedos auf Backbord. Gegnerischer Zerstörer versenkt. Kritischer Maschinenschaden.
Now then. Because of the torpedo hit, this went completely out of place. And although not many destroyers don't have hydroacoustic surge, it's very cursing once you are getting used to the Germans having hydroacoustic surge. It just comes naturally to become relying on that in every German destroyer. And once you remove that specific aspect, it becomes very more painful to play. But onward to the operations. Now, Killer Whale. Personally, this is my favorite mission. We have some interesting fleet. We have Trento, Crash Bay, but high school fleet variation, Dallas, Alpha, York, and Nagato. This is my personally favorite operation. Because we are lacking hydro, we have to play this somewhat. But thankfully, thanks to my thousands of game experiences with these operations, I literally know everything what happens here. The problem is, how can I play it out? How to play out this problem.
Gegnerische Streitkräfte entdeckt.
It seems entire team is going that way. I guess I have no choice but to catch up. Because most of these enemy ships have hydroacoustic surge, I must keep my distance and not even chance to use smoke screen.
Feueralarm! Gegnerischer Zerstörer versenkt. Problem gelöst. Torpedos auf Steuerbord.
Okay.
Torpedos voraus. Gegnerischer Kreuzer zerstört.
That was close. You know, if I had a hydro, I could have dodged that thing easily. That was nothing more but a fluke. Lucky dodge.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert. Nebelwerfer gestartet.
Because we cannot see everything. Anything. I had to say anything. Well, actually, there's no way Baron is coming there. So we must focus on Nice now for now. You have to constantly rely on your team spotting, and you constantly check in on the minimap.
Wir haben ein gegnerisches Schlachtschiff versenkt.
Attention, main task complete. Retreat to the designated area.
Alright.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Now this is a very interesting way to see the team to play. There's something on the north I must check. Because I know there's a light cruiser approaching over here. If the cruiser reaches D-line, somewhere on the D-line, it have then do not let the reinforcements enter the haven. That's the Iron Blood flag. So yeah, that secondary tasks will fail.
Alle Stationen, Feuer auf das Ziel konzentrieren.
Yep, it was just somewhere on the D-line.
Feuer auf festgelegtes Ziel konzentrieren.
Yep. There goes a secondary task.
Reconnaissance reporting. The second enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
Nebelwerfer gestartet. Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Gegnerischen Kreuzer entdeckt. Gegnerischen Zerstörer entdeckt.
Nebelwand gelegt. Gegnerischer Kreuzer versenkt.
Oh dear. What we have over here? A lost battleship. Now you seems to be drifting over there without a reason, so I'm not gonna waste my torpedoes to you. They have exceptionally short range. Respectfully long short range. They can't even reach the end.
Reconnaissance reporting. The third enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
What is Caspian Nagato doing? Don't tell me they're going after Baron. It seems like it. Greedy, greedy, greedy. You failed the secretary task, so why bother? But you do you.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
I know Nuremberg has hydro, but did the Alpa have hydro?
Gegnerischer Kreuzer gesunken.
Warte.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
What the absolute garbage show.
Reconnaissance reporting. The fourth enemy reinforcement party is approaching.
Feueralarm. Problem gelöst.
Gefecht endet in 5 Minuten.
I can no longer hide because of my large concealment.
Feueralarm.
Really? And Bayern press perfectly dodged my torpedo, so there goes that opportunity.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
That was a completely... Well. Plays well. Plays well. Plays well. So what did we do? Nothing impressive. And we got defeat. Nothing impressive, 19,000 damage, and we are... Well... The start was complete disaster. I had no idea she was sending torpedoes. I'm so used using hydroacoustic search to actually notify myself if there's any torpedoes incoming, but because, well, no hydrogen, no possibility to dodge torpedoes with the clumsy ship like this. So I highly recommend that you press with the helping line to get hydroacoustic search, because without hydro and with the very clumsy ships like these, they can be easily destroyed and they are basically useless fighting against submarines. And I personally do not recommend playing these ships until they get hydroacoustic search or some very decent buff that they are playable in 2026 World of Warships and beyond. And 31 is sadly very good representation about the entire line's future. Well, of course I have to blame myself, because I didn't dodge torpedoes, and I had no idea that the enemy destroyer was sending torpedoes. But I personally recommend, let's go with the Tech 3 for a moment. Jet 52 line, especially mass, equipment. She has hydroacoustic search and she is way more useful compared to 31. And I have very decent games with her, although my commander is way behind. But hey, this is my personal opinion about 31. And she's a very difficult ship to play in the modern warships. Now then, I guess we have now come to the end of this one shenanigan video. Thank you so much for watching. What is your opinion about 31? Do you believe she requires a hydroacoustic search update to save the entire Elbing line? Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on the next one. Please take care of yourselves. I repeat myself twice, apologies. And I hope to see you on the next video. Take care.